Hi, everybody. I'm Shania Chavis Rucker, happening in Fulton. A new year brings new challenges for the largest county in the state. Here now with an update is Fulton County Manager Dick Anderson. Sir, always a pleasure to see you.
Hi, Shania. I'm very glad to be here, and Happy New Year, by the way.
All right, let's jump into it. Any new improvements with the trends related to COVID-19?
Well, yes, there have been improvement, and I can tell you that we were disappointed to see these trends begin to worsen at the end of the year. In fact, we had some projections that had these trends going exponentially worse than we had ever seen them, including 3,000 or so new cases a day, exceeding capacity in our hospitals, and even exceeding capacity at our morgue, which obviously gets your attention. But the good news is we know what to do and we know how to scale our response, given all the experience that we've had. So both working with partners like CORE, the Department of Public Health at the state level, the National Guard, hospital partners like Grady, we were able to put together, I think, a very effective response. And that response had all of the elements that we've had previously, everything from testing to obviously vaccinations. And that response has now resulted in these improvement in trends. So now we are at about 1,000 cases a day. Again, turned back down, so we don't anticipate going to 3,000. We do have over 1,200 people in our hospitals, which represents about 6 to 8% of additional capacity that we could have for our use. So we're pretty close to the edge there. And quite frankly, we had to expand the capacity at our morgue, which we've effectively done. But again, the trends have improved significantly. The positivity rate now is slightly below 20%, dramatic improvement from where it was. So we see now the trends improving over time.
And, sir, speak to us now about how we are meeting the demand for testing.
Well, it is interesting because as these trends worsened, the demand for testing also increased significantly. Partly, I think, due to the holidays and travel plans, but mostly due to these trends as people were concerned about had they been exposed, were they positive? So what we immediately did was ramped up our testing in our three principal locations that we've been testing at all along. That's at North Point, Boulevard, and Stonewall Tell. But then in addition to that, we have opened a location in Sandy Springs at their Public Safety Training Center, and then just recently a mega testing site at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Again, going back to what we know to do, and that's relying on partners like Mercedes-Benz who are centrally located, public spirit minded, and have a great location, which by the way can do 2,000 tests a day. So now we're up to about 5,000 to 6,000 tests a day that we are doing, and we're meeting demand. But in addition to that, we have ordered 150,000 test kits for home delivery. So those will be, as we receive them, distributed through our libraries, through our health clinics, and other locations, which will be very helpful to our citizens. And of course, they can order from the federal government test kits now, in that there are 1 billion test kits that have been made available to the public. So I would encourage you to go to that website and also make use of those supplies as well.
And has Fulton County received any additional funding for emergency rental assistance or mortgage assistance?
Yes, we have, and I'm really quite excited about this reallocation of $25 million from the state through U.S. Treasury to Fulton County for emergency rental assistance. And the reason I'm excited about that is twofold. One, it's more assistance for our citizens on a direct basis. But I'm also proud of the work that Dr. Rochelle and her team have done, which has really been a leader in the nation in the distribution of these emergency rental assistance funds. In fact, it was done so quickly that we've had to use other funds while this reallocation took place to continue our program. But now we've received formal authority that those two are formal notification, I should say, that those $25 million in funds are forthcoming. And that's very exciting. In addition to that, though, the state has also received approval from the U.S. Treasury for mortgage assistance, an over $350 million program that they will be administering, and details of that should be available to the public very soon. So with those two-pronged approach, I think we will really be in a position to help all of our citizens, whether they're in rental property or owned property, with assistance that's been quite needed.
And before you leave, let me ask you about the courts. Are we making any progress in the court backlog reduction project?
We are, and of course, the courts are one of the main initiatives, the court backlog project, I should say, is one of the main initiatives that we've had during this COVID response. We dedicated $75 million to that project. I want to really compliment Alton Adams, who's our Chief Operating Officer for Public Safety and the Justice System Liaison for us, and then all of our justice partners, because not only have they done a Herculean job of hiring almost 90% of the people that we really need in core positions, ranging from judges to assistant DAs to public defenders, but also they have gotten off to a very quick start. And we all know that a quick start generally means a good finish, no matter what you're talking about. And even in the first month or so, they've already reduced that backlog by 5%. If you just do the math, that's a pretty good start to a program that was to run 2 to 3 years. So we're very pleased with how that started. It won't be a linear 5% reduction each month, because some cases obviously are more complicated, will take longer. But by the way, we haven't even had jury trials, in-person jury trials, during this most recent spike. So I'm encouraged that this trend is good, the reductions are happening, and everybody is working together very effectively.
Again, always a pleasure to see you, sir. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Shania.
That's just some of what's happening in Fulton. To stay connected, check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also see us on our YouTube channel, so do us a favor and subscribe.